Good afternoon. Here I am again. I'm going to give a historical overview of something of great interest of mine. For those of you out there possibly feel the same or share the same volitions and interests that I do, it will be certainly for your amusement and your benefit. It has to do with dealing with antique reproductions of antique arms, firearms, guns of yesteryear. In this particular case, and I've done some reviews or some instructional lectures on this particular gun, this wonderful piece of engineering and craftsmanship. Matchlock was one of the earliest, was by far one of the earliest known weapons that used powder, black powder, which was an explosive but would cause ignition when fired to send out a lead ball, in rare cases a bullet. Bullets did not really essentially arrive on the scene until later on. And I don't want to get into that detail for this particular review, but I'm talking about the Matchlock Musket. Very beautiful gun. I'm not saying that I claim that what I make is beautiful, but although I do feel that it's a beautiful job, and I thank the Lord that He gave me the ability and the talent to do such things. This is one of them, and I'm putting it back together after I had done some work right in here to make it more historically realistic, shaving off, making it more at a angle or cut at the top, so when able to shoot the builder comfortably rest his cheek up against the butt end of the stock, so he could it would enable him to get off a shot in record time. And I say by record time, being if he was in the military, it was equipped or tasked to use this weapon. He would need to be able to fire and reload in record time to be able to get off another shot whenever he was facing an approaching enemy. I say this because primarily the Matchlock Musket was an involvement or an introduction into warfare to be used against enemy forces. Of course, now you've heard the old adage that what goes around comes around. That simply means that if one soldier was armed with one of these, he may be assured that his enemy was likewise armed with one. And he always wanted to make it a point to be sure that when he shot, that he made his shot good. This particular gun was trying to get my thoughts together here. 78 years old. I don't think as quick as I used to. However, he wanted to be sure that when he carried one of these into battle, that he would be able to get off 3 shots in 1 minute. How would he do that? I'll give a kind of a quick demonstration of what was involved as I'm putting this thing back together after doing some gunsmithing on it, as I did earlier, especially on the stock, and even doing some grading out or further inlating in the barrel's rest right in here, if you can see I'm going, with rough sandpaper and a chisel first, and then sandpaper, and to allow the barrel to fit as it should. I'm having a little bit of trouble here. I don't think I'm putting this thing back in the way I had it. I should have marked it, or just made a careful mental note to make sure I was doing it right. But I think I have it now. And of course, I would use this. To screw it back in. I think I'm going to have to get a smaller screwdriver. That one is too robust and too big, too thick for that little screw. Back again. Yes. If you want to know more information about this particular firearm, and I call it a firearm, I don't care what the federal politicians want to call it, it's a firearm. Anything that you can shoot and that can inflict lethal damage on an animal or a human being, in my estimation, is a firearm. In this particular case, this baby right here is perfectly capable of inflicting heavy wounds on whatever it shoots, or whoever one shoots. But I don't want to dwell on that. I like to make these things for the simple reason that I just enjoy that hobby. I'm not about to ever try to get myself involved in making these as a business, because I don't want to have to go through all the rigmarole of hiring lawyers to cover me in case somebody claims I was faulty in my construction, and therefore they want to take me to court and sue me for all that I'm worth. No way. So I have a nephew by marriage, who was a family lawyer, and he wrote me back to give me some helpful information about what I can expect if I were to do this as a business. And he said, you just need to be prepared to have coverage. I mean, Winchester, Weatherby, all gun manufacturers, even of the day, Browning, all those. You better believe they are well equipped with coverage in case a consumer wants to try to blame them for bad manufacturing. I will say this, and I'm going to close with this. Whatever I make, especially making something that that has power, that has muscle, I want to be sure that I take the time to make it right, to make it as safe and as strong and as accident proof as I possibly can. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, even as old as this gun's ancestor is, way back in the late 1500 to mid 1500 to all the way into probably the late 1600s, if that far, this thing could propel a bullet or a ball, a lead ball, in this case 70 caliber, that can inflict absolute unheard of incredible harm. A person gets shot with this thing, it would not only could do damage to organs but also to the bones. That's why there were amputations after a battle, because of people who have been shot with these. The capability of just inflicting unestimable damage. But I enjoy them. I enjoy shooting them. I enjoy listening to the noise. Of course, different from my ancestors who used these. I make sure I wear hearing protection. And for you guys out there, I say guys because for the most part, the majority of people who enjoy going out with something like this are guys. You would do well to at least stop your ears with wax protectors or earmuffs, shooter's earmuffs. Well, that's all I have to say about it. But there it is. See how I made the indentation here. Just make it a little bit more comfortable to rest and shoot it. So I fire, boom, what? Yep, something like that. Thank you.